Welcome to another episode of You Were Designed for Greatness. If I haven't told you recently, I am so glad you are here. Thank you for listening to this podcast. Thank you for sharing it with other women so that we can help women all around the world know that they were designed for greatness, learning tips and strategies, hearing amazing stories of overcoming life's adversities so we can be who we were created to be. So today I have a guest that we've been looking forward to getting together for quite a while. Few delays that have happened. We didn't have anything go wrong in last year, right? Everything was hunky-dory. So Debbie, introduce yourself and tell us about you.
Thanks, Donna. Yes, it's nice to finally be here. It took us a little bit. So I'm Debbie Pickus, and I am the founder of a company named Team Fireball, which started as fitness and activity team building for corporations, inspired by fitness and activity, but also mindset, power, confidence, morphed into some self-defense training. And now I'm primarily focused on working with teams and companies, but also individual women who are typically women business owners around their power, confidence, mindset, having the most level of confidence and belief in themselves that they can get.
Well, I've heard it said that if you're a coach, you've overcome something. Would you agree?
As in you're a human being. Yes.
Yes. Oh,
yes.
And then
yes,
then us coaches have this passion to take what we've learned. It's a drive that we don't even know how to stop to be able to impact other people. And so tell us a little bit about your personal story.
Yeah. So years ago, it's probably been 8 or 9 years ago, I found myself in an abusive relationship. At the time, on a regular basis, I would hear such things as you're fat and ugly, you're worthless, you are a major screw up, you fail at everything you do, you screwed up. I was going through some major financial struggles at the time. You're losing your home, you screwed up all the money you had, everything else. And from day to day, it changed what I was hearing. But pretty much on a daily basis, I would be hearing these horrible things said to me. And oftentimes when I tell the story, people think, well, why didn't you leave? Why didn't you this? Why didn't you that? Because that's so easy to do all the time. But the thing about this that made it different was the fact that it wasn't a spouse or a partner speaking to me, and it wasn't a sibling or a parent. Mm-hmm. I was speaking to myself.
Yeah.
While looking directly in the mirror and speaking with venom and energy and power, like just with hatred and disgust. And if you know anything about affirmations, you know that affirmations are best utilized while speaking in the mirror, looking at yourself and with power and energy, right? So I was basically affirming to myself the words I was saying, that I was a worthless piece of crap.
Right.
And this went on for a while. And one day I had an epiphany. Mm-hmm. And this epiphany was because at the time, my daughter, who's now almost 27, was a teenager. And she's got one of those faces that cannot lie. She should never play poker because you can read her all over her face. Mm-hmm. And I just had this vision of her face in my mind's eye, of me speaking to her the way I was speaking to myself. And it was like, what in the world? Like, what's that V8 commercial? Like, oh my God, I still get emotional when I tell this story because I could see her face completely crumble, like right before my eyes in my mind. And I thought, oh my God, I would never in a million years speak to her that way.
Right.
Why did I think it was okay to speak to myself that way? And it was really the first awareness I had. I don't even know how long I'd been speaking to myself that way, or, probably forever in some way, shape, or form. But suddenly it was so obvious that I was being abusive to myself. And when I work with clients and when I speak, on podcasts like this or in other situations, when I tell people that that's an abusive relationship, it's just like this epiphany to them too. Like, oh my gosh, you're right. So that led me on a journey of personal development, of seeking just to better myself, right, and to help me with my belief systems that
Right.
truly I didn't even know were there. But
Right.
I had been sabotaging so many things about my life ongoingly that eventually where I became now is one of the things that I do is I help my clients overcome, identify and eliminate and overcome these beliefs and the self-sabotaging behavior that quite frankly, we don't even know it's there unless somebody's
Right.
able to help us highlight it.
Right. It's been part of us for so long. It's like you didn't even know you were doing it. And
Exactly.
so we
So
aren't
true.
aware.
Right.
And for me, stepping into blaming everything else around me.
Oh yeah. Well, right. There's that too, right? There's that too. There's always this yeah, with that person's wrong. This person's wrong. That ex-husband, this thing. Yeah, I know all about that.
Yes.
I've done that once or twice in my life.
Oh, I think
Once
we
or
all have,
twice.
because it's
Yeah.
hard to take responsibility that I can change my life by the words I speak. Um, and as they're identified, helping me to shift those kinds of things. So as you begin to work with a coach and begin to move forward, making the shifts, what are some of the things you learn that you begin to implement? Maybe that you found challenging at first.
Oh, well, just the conversations as you're saying, I mean, it's like we I think that the way I grew up somehow, and this is actually just coming to me as we're talking about it, um, that reality is what you're supposed to be saying, right? So if somebody
Yes.
asks you, somebody says to you, well, how's your life going? Oh, well, like I'm struggling with this thing and I'm struggling with that thing and all this and all that. And that somehow by actually speaking in a positive way and maybe it's not the reality right at the time, but you're kind of lifting yourself up, that there's something wrong with that.
Yeah.
I grew up in a family where it was like, no, like here's the real, right?
Yes.
And the problem is that you can get really bogged down if you're talking about, the real, right? My bank account really is not where I want it to be. Instead of, I'm so excited that I'm now a $500,000 business owner, or whatever affirmation or positive things that you might say to yourself. And there's nothing wrong with telling your truth sometimes to people that you want to them to help assist you, but to live in that space of like, everything that's wrong is not beneficial. It's not beneficial. Focusing on those things does not help. That's for sure.
Yes. I've heard the same thing is I don't want to be fake. I don't want to be a hypocrite. And what we begin to realize, because I had the same kind of feeling, is what we begin to realize is I speak whatever I want to get more of. Yes. And if I want more of depression and I want more of no money and I want more of all of those kind of things,
speak it.
Just continue to speak it, because we are sowing seeds for our future. And so learning to be able to shift my mindset to believe, because just because I feel depressed and then I feel worthless doesn't mean it's true.
Exactly right.
My feelings, women especially, if I feel it, it's got to be true. She doesn't like me, or she's talking about me, or he did that, or whatever. And we have been wrong. Our feelings mislead us. But what our feelings never mislead us in is showing what I really believe about me.
All right.
So it always reveals, I call it my indicator lash on my dashboard of my car, those indicator lights. Emotions are indicators of beliefs. And so
Indeed.
as we begin to notice, it is the truth on what I believe, but it doesn't mean it's the truth, the real truth.
Yes. Yes. That
And
is
so,
so perfectly said.
so learning to be able to know the difference, that my emotions doesn't mean it's true. It's just true about what I believe, helped me to shift my affirmations that I were saying, my declarations that I began to say. So, excuse me. So that was, I mean, it was short but powerful. That
Yes.
story about being able to,
Thank you.
and I love the dramatic setup of I was in an abusive relationship and it was me.
Yeah.
And I mean,
Right.
like, how many of us have been in abusive relationships with ourselves, and it not working well? So,
Right.
how would people learn more about you?
People can find me. I think the best place to find me is on LinkedIn.
Okay.
If they're looking for me to find more about me, they can go to my website, but I will admit, being the not super tech savvy person that I am, because hey, that's not my strong suit. I have a website. The website is more focused on our self-defense training and some of those programs, but they can see what I've been up to, because I bring my fitness, martial arts, self-defense background kind of into my coaching, the mindset, the power, the confidence, the showing upness of it is what that's the overarching theme. So but www.team-fireball.com, that's a mouthful, which I'm sure you'll put that in some of your notes.
We will.
Yeah. Or you know what, they can find me on my Facebook page. It's got my maiden name in it. I've got to change that because that's a pain in the butt, but yeah, social media is a good place to find me, I would say.
Awesome. That sounds perfect. Any closing thoughts or tips? Speaking to the woman who's in an abusive relationship with herself. And as we talked, she just went, oh, wow,
Yeah.
I really am. What would be some closing thoughts you would have for her?
You know, the biggest thing that you can really do for yourself, and I share this with clients, and again, when I speak, is think about the person you love the most in the world, or the people, right? The 1 to 3 people. And anytime you say certain things to yourself, ask yourself, would you speak to them that way? Exactly in the same tone, with the same venom, with the same energy. And if you wouldn't, then you need to stop talking to yourself that way, because it's very, very potent and very dangerous and very powerful. And you've got way more power than you probably think you do.
Absolutely.
Going whichever direction you take that power. So don't say it to somebody you love. If you wouldn't say it to somebody you love, don't say it to yourself.
Awesome. Thank you, Debbie, for sharing today, and keep up the good work of sharing the news and empowering not just women, but people to be able to be the best they can be, confident and powerful in their mind and their body. Thank you for being with us today.
Thanks for having me.
If you find yourself in an abusive relationship with yourself and you would like to get some support to be able to get that to change, I would love to talk with you and support you. You can schedule a phone call with me, quick phone call. Let's go over what's happening in your life and get some strategies and some tips on how to be the best you can be, so that you can truly believe that you were designed for greatness. I'll put the link in the show notes, and it is absolutely free. And if no one else has told you today, I believe in you. I know you were designed for greatness, and I will look forward to talking to you soon. And remember, be sure to give a review for this podcast and to like it and share it with those around you, so that it helps us to increase our reach to impact more women. So have a wonderful day, and I will talk to you soon. Bye for now.